Hello, hello. This is Void Strife. Okay, this sounds stupid, but I've been working on this for a year and 3 months, I think, and I'm finally getting to the point where I can make showcase videos and devlogs and all that jazz. So that's pretty cool. Basically, this game, I'll probably link it in the description, so it'll be an itch.io link where you can play it, or at least a shitty, crappy early version of it, and you can experiment it, you can bug test it, you can play test it, you can cry your eyes out at how many bugs there are, and you're probably gonna clip your noise levels because I haven't balanced any of those yet, because yeah, and yeah, I don't know why there's this thing over here right on the galaxy thing, but yeah, this is the main menu. Yeah, it's got particles. Danny will be proud because it's using the Unity particle system. You know, just a bunch of little squares to fix in with the pixel art aesthetic. And yeah, obviously I got options. VSync doesn't work for some reason, or does it? No, yeah, VSync doesn't work. I don't know why. FPS, you know, getting hundreds in the menu, that's pretty normal. Yeah, I do have key bindings, which is something not a lot of smaller games have, and I haven't really implemented all of the key binds yet in the game, but you know, I can update those later. It's not a priority right now. If we actually go into the game, first thing that I want to show, let me get some fuel first for my spaceship. Hold on, give me 1 second here. 1 second, let me get some aspite. This is called aspite. This is used both as a fuel for your spaceship and as ammo for a weapon that I will show in just a minute. So if you go back to the ship, well, we need to put the fuel in the ship inventory first. So, you know, this console is the ship inventory. This is the skill tree, but I don't know why it's the same sprite as that, because I said it has a different one, but it's don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, okay? So we can you know, we can check out the map. We can see where we want to go. I want to go to the Ice Sisters. If I just put a waypoint there, and I align myself using the compass in the top left, and I start warping. Because goddamn, I love that sound so much. I absolutely love the warping sound. But hey ho, okay, I'm not gonna go all the way there, but you can explore pretty much this whole space. And there's going to be missions scattered throughout, locations scattered throughout, and I'll show you like an example of a location, which is still in work in progress. I haven't finished decorating it and stuff, but you know, we'll get there in time. Yeah, I'm not going to go all the way there. So okay, that is yeah, I'll catch you right back. Okay, we're back. You're just gonna ignore that happened. Yeah, that's a non-issue. The blur kind of just stays on if you're warping and you go to the menu. But yeah, hey ho. So, you know, this is us. This is these are some items on the floor. You know, they got lights, they got pixel graphics. You know, not the best, but you know, I'm no artist, and I do use quite a lot of assets from other sources. So, basically, the item system in this game. You have stats. You have a helmet, chestplate, back, and boots, and then you have main and secondary weapon, and then you have 2 artifacts. Basically, these artifacts, they're going to be your abilities. So I think with Q and E, I'm not sure yet. I haven't implemented those yet, but they will be coming. Don't worry. Yeah. For now, let's test out Victor, because I like the Victor gun. So you reload in, and Victor's basically a machine gun, and it sounds really cool. I absolutely love the sound of this. This is gonna be loud. Prepare your ears. Yeah, I think I'll turn it down in post, but you know, yeah, this machine gun sounds absolutely beautiful, absolutely tasty. And then there's also this called the Magnum Opus, which basically shoots tendrils and shoots a lightning ball. You can see it there, and it just shrinks and then disappears over time. But what kind of separates this game from the rest, well, at least from a lot of others, is that, as you can see, there's no like level type thing for your character. There's money, but there's not really to do with levels, and there's power, but that's just an average of like your items, defense, and damage, that sort of thing. Each item has its own levels. So what this means is that when you level up an item whilst using it, it kind of gains stats or gains bonuses or whatever. So for example, this armor, if we level it up, it'll increase the armor we get, and you can see that each item has like a slightly different XP multiplier. So these are just obviously testing, they're not balanced at all yet, but it's just a thing I can do, and it's really good. For weapons, when they level up, they kind of gain some bonuses. It depends per weapon what each one gets. So for example, this one, I think it gets tendrils, like number of tendrils, even though I need to change that because, as you'll see in a minute, it's not all about the tendrils. And another thing that separates this game is that using those skill trees for weapons, using those levels for weapons, I just spoiled it. You can have a skill tree. So this is a skill tree for Magnum Opus, right? We can see here it's level 9 because I set it to be level 9 because I don't want to go through grinding for levels each time I want to test a feature in the skill tree. But we got 3 levels. Okay, so this means that you unlock this one at level 2 or another level. I don't know, it doesn't matter what level. I can make it unlock at any level. So for example, I could make this section unlock at 5, I could make this section unlock at, I don't know, 7, and this one at 10. But basically, in each one of these boxes, you can only pick one. So for example, there's only one here. So if I want the top branch, I just get the Storm Surge here, which basically creates a kind of like a pink, pink party zone, which kind of damages everyone in it, and it sounds cool. It's got a Unity particle system in there, obviously, and yeah, that's the Storm Surge. Then we have either Feedback Loop, which kind of increases the lifetime of the ball whenever you hit an enemy with it, or Maelstrom. Maelstrom is kind of like a vacuum and just pulls things in. So I can demonstrate that with items. Are there any still items on the floor? No, they're not, because I picked them all up. Okay, I'll show that later with the enemies. But if we go to Feedback Loop, we can see that it kind of grows in size whenever it hits with the tendrils, and then it allows it to last for longer. And if you go back to Maelstrom, it's got cool particles. Let me just reload real quick. It's got cool particles, and like you get pulled in. Obviously, I'm not getting pulled in because that would be annoying. But it's really cool to pull in all the items. Maybe a little bit annoying, but it's fine. So then after that, we got Collapse and Plasma Storm. Collapse is basically the opposite of Storm Surge. Instead of going out, like exploding, it's collapsing. So it's going in, and it's got like a really cool bass sound. I don't know if you can hear it on video, but it's there. It sounds pretty cool. I hope you heard it. Then after that we got the Plasma Storm. Now the Plasma Storm's kind of cool because there's particles, and then there's like a storm that's like spinning, and the particles are like really jittery because it's like an electric storm, and it sounds kind of weird. I don't know why it sounds like that. It's not supposed to sound like that. It's just supposed to sound like an electric storm. Okay, so sound design, right? Sound design's hard, but when I spend a lot of time doing it, it sounds great. Like, for example, the Victor. The Victor sound sounds amazing, and every weapon and every sound in the game will eventually sound as good as this. Obviously, it won't sound the same as this because that would be a bit boring, but everything will sound very good. And I don't know if you've noticed the music as well, but the music will be changing dynamically. I'll show you that when we get to the enemies. So if we go back to the Magnum Opus and we go back to the skill tree, that's the top branch, and now we're going to go to the bottom branch. So I want each branch in each tree to kind of play entirely differently. So for example, this top branch is more like AoE damage, so you kind of attack a lot of enemies at once, you influence a lot of enemies at once, whereas this bottom one, let's say it has some balance issues right now, but it's a lot more focused on single target damage. So for example, Iron Beam, right? This is the first skill, turns the weapon, instead of shooting big balls of lightning, great big balls of lightning, it shoots small ions. It's very anticlimactic. The sound is just a placeholder right now, and it does have a little bit of an error, where if I go and shoot and empty out my magazine, I reach minus 0.02 bullets, which is not great, but you know, I can fix that. So that's the basic ion beam. You know, it does a amount of damage for each particle, but obviously there's a lot of particles and it shoots very, very, very fast. If we go in and we upgrade to HE capacitors, we can see that it now shoots from 4 of them, and it shoots even more at the same time. So it drastically increases its fire rate, which is kind of why it's so strong for single target damage. And then overcharge. So if you look in the bottom right, we got HP, health, obviously. Energy is not really used yet. I'll use that for the artifacts. And then oxygen, which is slowly decreasing because I'm in space, but it replenishes if you're in the ship or, you know, just in a station or whatever. So if you shoot this, if you look at my HP bar, there's a little blue bar that's rising with it, and now it's suddenly dropping because the shield doesn't stay on forever. It decreases over time because it'll be a bit balance issue if it stayed on there. So then if we go and upgrade to the final two, so we have Iron Fury, which is basically ions kind of get attracted to the enemies, so you get aimbot if the bullets get close enough. So here right now, obviously they're not going anywhere, but if I make them go towards it, they accelerate and they immediately hit the enemy. This is just a target enemy with like infinite health or whatever, so don't worry about this guy. But yeah, and obviously with the overcharge and the amount, like the fast amount this weapon charges, you can see that you can pretty much have full shield like whenever you shoot. And what the shield does is that it acts as like a second health bar, so enemies will take away health from your shield first, and then they take away your health. So that's pretty good. And then we have Nova, which sounds okay, but still needs to be changed a bit. Periodically releases like smaller-ish explosions, and then when they hit an enemy, it causes like a bigger explosions, which damages enemies nearby. It's kind of like the Storm Surge in the other branch, but is blue and is different. Okay, trust me. So if we, what should we choose? I'm gonna go with this. So if you go, wait, no. If we go to, actually, let's take the quest. We can show off a little bit with questing system. So you know, this is Timothy Chalamet. Well, Timothy I shouldn't say Chalamet. I don't know if I'm gonna get sued or anything, but I probably won't. It'll be fine. So the text for this hasn't been updated. It's gone from you know, the thing on the left is not a mental hospital anymore. It's a nightclub. You know, slight remodeling. And he wants us to go there and check out his friend. And obviously, this is a very work in progress quest. It's like a debug quest. So yeah. Also, ignore this. This is a known bug. I thought I fixed it ages ago, but it came back for no reason. But yeah. So we can see that we finished that goal. So it played a little jingle like ding ding. And okay, I'm gonna slightly get away because the music's starting to pump up. I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah. Goals complete. You complete goals, you complete quests, whatever, and then when you finish a quest, the name of the quest becomes green and there's no goals under it. So if you go back towards the thing, we can see the enemy shoots, kill them, blah 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 blah. And now I'm gonna run out of oxygen soon, which doesn't actually damage you for some reason, which is, you know, another known bug, but that's fine. We can see that the music is starting to amp up in intensity. So right now it's dependent on the amount of life you're missing and the amount of enemies near you. And okay, why is everyone coming out after me? That's not good. So, you know, music kind of pumps up in intensity, so more things pop in and out, and drums and like synths and whatever. It's music. It's cool. If you go inside, because that oxygen warning is kind of annoying, we can fight people. You know, we can go through it. And let's see how far we can get the music to pump up. I'll shut up for a bit. Ignore the really weird blood squelching sound because that needs to be changed, but hey ho. Right, so now I'm gonna go to the boss. which I kind of like how he works, but obviously there's gonna be some remodeling for him as well. Ouch, that scared me. Yeah, so I'll shut up for a minute so you can hear the music fully kick in, because its intensity is set to max whenever there's a boss around. And as you can see here, his name is Pain Jones because he inflicts pain. So some slight explanations of boss mechanics. You see those blue bars? That's because we need to kill those 3 yellow things first before we can damage him, because if I try to damage him like this, it doesn't damage him. It did now because the Novas kind of took care of the yellow things, and they're already like half health because it's stupidly overpowered. But if we keep going, you know, we can hit him, and this Nova does a stupid amount of damage, as you can see here. That shotgun is very scary, by the way. Okay, I ran out of ammo. This is no good. You know, we can hit, we can attack, and now that the boss is gone, the music kind of calms down because there's also a lot less enemies around us. And that was the boss. Very anticlimactic because of the OP weapon I have here, but you know, it'll be balanced later on. Don't you worry. Let's kill these dudes. And one more. Let's get him. Can we get him through the wall? We probably can. Oh, not from here. Also, I don't know why the bullets don't actually explode on impact with the walls, so don't ask me about that. That is a known bug. And yeah. So we've cleared out Fantasia, which is the nightclub, which I don't know what I'm doing with the story yet. This game, by the way, as you can tell by the quest probably, will be a lot focused on story, and I want to have branches and like choices that actually matter and like are important towards the game. But here's what a possible room in the nightclub might look like. There's some blood, there's some heals, there's a little credit card there, some pillows, some puke, obviously, some knickers, a guitar. Yeah, it's quite great. And this is Fantasia. So if we go back to our ship, where is our ship? Let's go back to our ship. If we give it some more fuel, because I want to fly around. So we're in the ship. I'm gonna start going away. I really like how the spaceship sounds when you're accelerating. And you can see that it's kind of slowing down towards 800 meters per second, but that's because I have dampeners on, and if I turn those off, I can accelerate to a full 1000, but it kind of keeps you in that direction, so you can spin around if you turn off your dampeners, and you kind of keep spinning and keep going in that direction because dampeners. Yeah, if I turn them back on again, it slows me down and it slows down my rotation as well, and I eventually stop. But if I go to my map again, you can see here that we can complete this. It's a quest marker, no way. So if I go back and go towards here, and we accelerate, and hopefully we find Timmy. Navigation, like this kind of system, open world, top down, it's kind of weird when I'm using this sort of map, but I think it works fine. That might be changed though. Leave some suggestion in the comments for how that could be changed, I think, because yeah, I don't know why it's limited to 500 now, or yeah. But yeah, you can turn off dampeners, go faster, but obviously it's harder to control. And I just want to go to Timmy, bro. Where's Timmy? Okay, I went further than I thought. We should be close. These are the coordinates, so we can see that the Timmy guy is near 00, so that's why I'm heading that way, and also the markers pointing this way. We should be getting close. Where's that guy? Where's that guy? Timmy! Timmy! Hello, Timmy. I see you. Okay. Little parking here. Ignore the particles from inside the ship because, yeah. And we finish that, and it gives us aspite, so we just get like ammo or fuel or whatever. And so go back in, fuel it up, blah 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 blah. So if you go, you know what? I'm gonna just do that. Okay. Now that's fixed. Where should we go? You know what I like seeing? I like seeing the sun, so we're gonna just pop out to this planet. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. So pop in there. We're gonna warp there. Absolutely love that sound. I'm chuffed to bits with it. So traversing this, you're probably going to be looking at your map just to know when you can warp out, and because it's like perspective based, you can see them coming from a mile away and you have time to stop pretty quickly. And so you can get pretty accurate even with this system, even though it looks less accurate than you would like it to. The planets are really big, so for example that one and that one, so I know where to stop. And then if you need even more accuracy, you obviously have the coordinates to play around with, which will probably look a bit different in the final version, but hey ho. So now I'm on this planet, which looks really cool, and I'm really chuffed to bits with this planet system because they look so good. They're by a tool from I can't remember his name. I'll definitely link him in the credits though for my itch page. I think he's already linked there. These planets are actually a lifesaver because they're what inspired me for this game mostly, and they look absolutely beautiful. And it also creates like the galaxy in the main menu, and the this is that galaxy in the main menu, and there's also the black hole, which I don't know where it is. I can't remember where it is. It doesn't show on the map, but there's a black hole and it's really cool. I think it's like somewhere around here. But yeah, oh, I can't think if there's anything else to show. So blah 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 blah. I mean, I could show like the different types of weapons. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, this is a sniper. It's called a moon sight, and obviously it'll have its own skill trees and everything. But right now it doesn't, because I could only implement in like a weekend the magnum opus one. Obviously it's sniper, so it shoots slow. It has very few bullets in its mag, and it's very high damage. And the skill tree planned for this weapon will kind of include like marking enemies, and if you're marked, you get more damage dealt to you, and it's more likely to crit damage you, and all sorts of other effects. There's also the Cataclysm and Trauma, which are kind of like sister shotguns but used for different purposes, and their skill trees are vastly different. So for example, the Cataclysm one, the skill tree, if I'm not mistaken, it's either for this or Trauma, is at some point with poison. So whenever you shoot, you kind of release like balls of like spores, actually, of fungi, which kind of go in with the poison theme, that kind of spread throughout the locations, and they just randomly move about, and then when they settle down, they create like a pool of acid or a pool of poison that people can get damaged in. Yeah, obviously the bullets don't actually explode when you hit a surface. Don't ask me why, because it was working fine the other day, and then they weren't. You know, just usual game dev problems, I guess. Then the Trauma is kind of like the same thing. It's just another shotgun, blah 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 blah. I think that one shoots 7 bullets at once, and then this only shoots 5, and they've all got different stats, whatever. Crossfire is just a small like pistol, it's just a pistol, nothing really special. Then there's the Sprocket, which is a burst pistol actually. So it shoots 3 bullets in a burst. These bullets don't hit anywhere either, because yeah. And then there's the Ghost Rifle, which is just your semi-automatic basic rifle that you'll probably get in the beginning of the game roughly. To do with levels and like how you progress through the game, different quests may give you different rewards. So like for example, they can give you special armors, which as you can see here, and as you've probably seen earlier, they're part of sets. So different sets give you different bonuses. This is kind of inspired by the way sets work in Diablo 3, where if you're wearing a certain amount of each set, you get different bonuses. And I don't want these bonuses to be too gameplay altering like in Diablo 3, because those get insane. So I don't want the whole gameplay loop to be based on getting the best set there is. But just small little buffs, you know, whenever you're lacking on something, maybe you want to put on another set to compensate for another weapon you have, or an armor that may not be as good as the one you have. But obviously when you level these up, they kind of just grow with you as a player. This does kind of mean that in the end game, it'll be harder to migrate towards other item builds, I guess, in a way. But I have a fixed plan for that, which will be to, like, similar to the weapon tinkering table, to see their skill trees. You can have like a currency or something you find which can let you upgrade a weapon directly, like from here. Maybe there's a button here, if you have something in your inventory you can upgrade, so to quickly upgrade a weapon if you find something that you really like. But yeah, I think that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this devlog I actually stick to it. I've tried a few things of these in the past. They don't really last, but this definitely lasted, because if I've been working on this game for like more than a year now. I started in October 2021, and this has been my longest game dev project ever. It'll be good, and I have very high hopes, and I hope you do too, because it'll end up being very, very good. Oh, the galaxy's gone. What? Oh, I'm so